finally happening after first being rumored in WandaVision and then being memed into oblivion as fans looked for him in every single MCU project. Mephisto is coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So let's break down these newest updates that give us a lot of details about where we're going to see Mephisto and how he's likely to be used in the MCU. I, of course, want to combine that with all the old leaks and rumors that we've heard about Mephisto. Finally, I want to end this video with my concerns. Because yes, I'm a little worried about the MCU version of Mephisto. So smash a gosh dang like on this video and let's begin. So first up, this news comes from insider Jeff Snyder, who last week was not accurate because he was talking about how the Marvels is a big old shit show. But this week he is reliable and doing a great job. And for the folks that haven't had their coffee yet, that's a joke because Jeff Snyder's always pretty accurate. It is kind of funny that a ton of people were clowning on Jeff, saying he was a clickbaiter last week, and this week they're down to share this news because it's really hyped up. But we'll save all that stuff about the Marvels for a different video. So to be specific about what the report is from Jeff Snyder, he's talking about how Sasha Baron Cohen is filming a Mephisto Halloween special presentation. And apparently Sasha is doing this while on the set of Agatha Coven of Chaos. I also think it's worth immediately reminding you that Deadline, a Hollywood trade, did confirm that Sasha Baron Cohen was playing Mephisto in the MCU just a couple of months ago. Now, there are a couple of different reasons why this news is way crazier than you might think. The first part has to do with this being something that was reported by the Marvel's Studio Spoilers subreddit. You know, the one that Kevin Feige snapped out of existence this week with a big old lawsuit. What a weird twist of events. The last major info drop that the Studio Spoilers subreddit did was chock full of wild rumors and leaks about the future of Marvel, and one of them was this exact rumor. It was the fact that Sasha Baron Cohen was shooting a Halloween special presentation while he was on the set of Agatha Coven of Chaos. So what that means is a lot of the other stuff that they talked about in that big info dump is likely also real. And honestly, I did see a ton of different articles talking about different things that they spoke about in that big info dump. I'm going to do even more videos on that stuff because some of it's just absolutely wild and worth getting really sweaty and nerdy about. But for now, let's just kind of keep talking about Mephisto. Because the other side of this, the other part of this that's so freaking crazy is the fact that they are shooting special presentations, just like what they did with the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special presentation and the Werewolf by Night presentation, but they are doing these presentations while on the set of an entirely different project. In fact, it just came out yesterday from thecosmiccircus.com that they've also heard that you're going to get a Century special presentation, which will be the Christmas presentation, and they're going to shoot that right along with the Thunderbolts movie. Stephen Yen is, of course, going to be playing Robert Reynolds' The Century in the Thunderbolt movie, and it seems like they're also just going to do a holiday Christmas special with that character right alongside that production. So it seems like this is the pattern for Marvel Studios, and partially this was being done to hide the fact that they are shooting this stuff, which obviously didn't work. I mean, look, Jeff Snyder's talking about it. The Cosmic Circus is talking about it. The Marvel Studios Spoilers subreddit talked about it before Feige blinked them out of existence. But it is interesting. It shows what they're doing on the production side of things to throw people off, to try to keep these secrets intact. But again, that's not working. We are talking about this now, and a ton of people talked about this scoop yesterday, and I think we'll continue to do so. This is likely also being done just to make the production side of Marvel a little bit smoother. If you're going to already have that actor there, already have an entire crew there, it is interesting that they might sort of take some of those people, and instead of like shooting second unit stuff for the actual movie, they're going to instead shoot some stuff that will end up being edited together for a special presentation. On an interesting note, the Marvel fan base seems to be way more into the special presentations than they were for the Disney Plus shows. However, up till now, the special presentations that Marvel has done are actually not doing big numbers. Not a ton of of people are actually even watching them. We're, of course, in a really pivotal time for Marvel Studios right now. They're slowing things down, trying to focus quality over quantity. And so it's interesting to get stories like this and to see how they're possibly trying to change the way they do special presentations to, I guess, make them easier, a little bit more secret, and maybe more connected to cool projects they have coming out. Like Werewolf by Night is cool, but Mephisto is a massive character. That's a big character that people have, again, been talking about and memeing about since WandaVision. I'd argue that the Guardians are a way bigger deal than the Sentry, at least to most normie fans at this point, but it's also possible that after the movies next year, mainly Thunderbolts, the fans will be absolutely loving the Sentry as a character. And so perhaps that holiday special will also perform way, way better than the Guardians one. But now let's talk about some of the past rumors, and let's use those powers of being a gigantic freaking nerd to sort of make sense of how all of this will likely play out. Now, the more established rumors on Mephisto are that you're going to see this character in Ironheart and Agatha Coven of Chaos. Mephisto is rumored to be the person that gives magical powers to the character The Hood, played by Anthony Ramos, in Ironheart. Ironheart itself is said to have a really big subtext, subplot thing going on between technology versus magic. Now, as far as what Mephisto will be doing in Agatha Coven of Chaos, we don't have any clear ideas of that, but considering that there are a lot of rumors that Wanda's son, Billy Kaplan, aka Wiccan, will be a major part of the Agatha show, it stands to reason that Mephisto would be involved in the show for that reason. In the comics, Mephisto is always trying to use the Scarlet Witch and even to manipulate and use the powers of Billy Kaplan. Now, there was a rumor out there about Mephisto offering a deal to Wanda, to the Scarlet Witch, in Agatha Coven of Chaos. That is actually coming from a less reputable place, but it's still technically possible that something like that will go on in that show. So that would make the more or less confirmed projects to involve Mephisto to be the Ironheart show, Agatha Coven of Chaos, and his own Halloween special. That's a lot of Mephisto, and Mephisto's obviously a massive character in the comic book, so I wouldn't be surprised if you get even more of Mephisto in different projects throughout the rest of the multiverse saga. Many fans in the space, including myself, strongly feel that magic and technology might be this really interesting element that's continued to play a big part in the story throughout the multiverse saga, and magic, particularly with characters like Wanda, Billy Kaplan, maybe even America Chavez, and of course, Doctor Strange, are going to be a really big part of Secret Wars. Now, Mephisto in the comics is an absolute beast. He's pretty much like a lesser version of the devil, but he's involved in a ton of different stories, including a lot of modern Marvel comic stories that deal with the multiverse. He's a big part of the Heroes Reborn story. He's a big part of the current Avengers book, and he's a big part of the new version of Avengers Forever. So I think it's highly likely that you'll get a lot of Mephisto in some really interesting stories in the next couple of years. The potential for the character is really high, and he's also going to be in really good company, as it's been reported that James Spader is returning to the role of Ultron in the MCU. And if Secret Wars or some Secret Wars projects are really going to pit a lot of fun villains against a lot of fun heroes, it would make sense for Marvel to develop some of the coolest Marvel villain characters, either that have already been in the MCU or that have not yet, like Mephisto. So we're getting a lot of Mephisto coming up in the next couple of years. We're getting a lot of awesome villains in the next couple of years. This is really exciting stuff. However, I do just want to say I have some legitimate concerns about the Mephisto character in the MCU. First of all, Sasha Baron Cohen is an incredible actor with a lot of range and can play very serious characters, but can obviously play very goofy characters like he did in the Borat films, his old show Ollie G, The Dictator. I mean, the dude's a very comedic actor. I think that's more what he's known for. And so I worry slightly about the take that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios might do with Mephisto. Like, even Ultron, a dope villain that I brought up earlier in this video, was not given, like, the true Ultron justice in his own movie. James Spader was a little bit too much of a Tony Stark joke machine clone, and there are flashes of brilliance in the performance, and it is menacing at times, but it doesn't fully evoke the badassery that you get with Ultron in the comics. And I think at a time right now when Marvel fans are incredibly frustrated with some of the villains like Gore the God Butcher that they've depicted in their movies recently, and at a time when most of the projects in Marvel Studios feel way too plucky and jokey, it would be a massive mistake if they make Mephisto basically a demon-esque clown that everybody just dunks on. And on top of that, we had some really weird rumors and leaked images that showed that they want to take the design for this character in a really weird direction. He almost looks like he's a member of the band Kiss in a lot of the leaks. And I don't love that. Like, I think Mephisto should just be a big old red devil looking dude. Like, I don't really want him to look like a hockey pad wearing Kiss fan at a concert. So as cool as Mephisto is and as dope as he could be in a lot of MCU stories, I have some serious concerns. I don't want this to go the way of the Boner. I don't want this to go the way of the original Mandarin. I don't even want this to go the direction of Gore the God Butcher, who again was played by Christian Bale, who's awesome, but was totally underutilized and completely underwhelming compared to his comic book counterpart. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited, just a little bit concerned, so I wanted to vocalize that here. Let me know what you think about Mephisto coming into the MCU in a big way, getting his own special presentation. Smash like on this video if you enjoyed it. And if you want to watch more, why not check out this video I recently did about some really wild DC movie news.